In terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond the headlines,
who are the sponsors of insecurity in this country?
from breaking news to everyday conversations, this is where Nigeria's conversations begin. We track the issues shaping Nigeria and the world today. The world is talking, and we're listening. This is Trends on LJE News.
Hello and welcome to yet another trend on LJE News, where we bring you the latest and developing stories in Nigeria and of course across the globe. My name is Omotola Adeleke. I have Esther here. Esther, you're welcome to the program. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hope you slept well.
Sure did.
All right. We also have Judith here in the studio. Judith, what a guan.
I'm fine, thank you.
You know what a guan means?
Yes, I know
What does it mean?
I don't know.
All right, so don't forget you can be a part of our growing online community by hitting that follow, like, share, and subscribe button right now on all platforms at LJE News. Let's quickly run through our headlines for this edition of Trends. INEC, National Assembly, might shift 2027 presidential election to January 16 amid religious concerns. House members walk out over reversal of Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Telcos reject Senate claims, defend Nigerians' readiness for e-transmission of electoral result. Peter Obi, Nigeria can transmit election result electronically like India. EFCC detains former Kaduna Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai over 432 billion naira corruption probe. Lagos agency appeals for help to locate TikTok survivor of alleged rape. Brake failure, tragedy at Dusse's Tipper Garage Junction leaves one dead. Infant survives. And to the lead story, strong indications suggest the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and the National Assembly of Nigeria have agreed to move the 2027 presidential election to January 16, 2027, replacing the earlier February 20 date. Governorship elections are also expected on January 30, 2027, according to multiple sources. The development follows the suspension of harmonization of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill to allow an emergency plenary session where the revised date will be discussed. Initially, February 13 had been considered as a compromise amid concerns from Muslim faithful about voting during fasting. Also, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, and Islamic clerics raised concerns over the February 20 schedule, which coincided with Ramadan and Lent. Daniel Atori, media aide to the Niger State CAN chairman, said the Lenten period has never stopped Christians from voting. Esther, you heard what the spokesman to the Northern CAN chairman just said, Atori. He said Lenten period has never stopped Christians from voting. And yet we see Muslims and some political stakeholders who are Muslims coming out to complain that, the election should be shifted because of Ramadan. Should religious calendars determine, our electoral processes?
Of course not. What's the connection between your religious connection and the electoral process? How does the Ramadan affect electoral processes? It has no connection. So I don't know why they're trying to manipulate the efforts of the INEC. Why are they agitating for a move pushback in the election dates? It has no connection, if not that they are trying, because I believe Muslims, they say the kind of when is a Ramadan, they don't involve in sinful activities and whatnot. And most of our leaders are Muslims. So if they believe in this, so they are trying to possibly avoid punishments from Allah,
or whatever might
happen.
So you think it's even a good thing for the elections to happen during Ramadan? Perhaps
yes,
a lot of them might want to be transparent
if that
with
is
activities.
if that is when the INEC deems it fits for the election to happen, then it should happen irrespective of Ramadan, Lent, fasting. It's really no excuse.
Judy, but don't you think people might be disenfranchised? The fact that, people might be tired, people might be hungry. During the time, Hamatan comes up on board and some, the environment is kind of hazy and all that. Don't you think people might be disenfranchised? Some people might not want to come out to vote because of environmental factors and, the beginning of the year factors and all that.
if environmental factors is a concern, then it might make sense to move the date. But citing religious reasons makes absolutely no sense, because fasting has nothing to do with voting. I have voted before, and it's not something that will take the entire day. It's a process where you just cast your vote, and you can decide to leave or stay to ensure that the votes are counted properly. But fasting and voting has absolutely nothing to do with
You know,
each other.
with the antecedent of INEC, where you go to your polling unit to want to vote, and at the end of the day, you need to wait 2-3 hours before even elections start and all that. Don't you think that should be considered?
I mean, people that are fasting, they fast from, I think, 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. till sometime in the evening. There's no way you would vote from morning till evening. No matter how long it takes, the entire process of voting would not take more than 3 hours.
You know,
or
to
4
add to
hours.
what Judy said, if you're considering the hours, does it mean that when you're fasting, you don't go to work, you don't go about your daily activities? Fasting does not stop you from working. Fasting does not stop you from engaging yourself in activities. So why would fasting stop you from voting? It really makes no sense if you ask me.
All right, let's move on to the next story quickly. Some members of the House of Representatives walked out on Tuesday in protest against attempts to reverse the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. The walkout followed a chaotic plenary after Speaker Tajuddin Abbas called an executive session which failed to resolve dispute over Clause 60, subsection 3, on compulsory electronic transmission of result. The turmoil began when Francis Wave moved a motion to rescind the December's bill. Despite louder nays than ayes, the Speaker ruled the motion passed, triggering objections. Returning from the executive session, members blocked Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu from continuing proceedings before walking out in the protest. Major telecom operators MTN Nigeria, Airtel Nigeria, Globacom, and T2 Mobile have dismissed the Senate's concerns over inadequate telecom infrastructure as misleading. Chairman of Association of Licensed Telecom Operators of Nigeria, Alton, Engineer Benga Adebayo, urged lawmakers to rely on verified data from the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC). He stated that over 70% of Nigeria has 3G and 4G coverage, with 5G at 11%, insisting 2G can transmit result electronically. He maintained that isolated insecurity challenges should not justify rejecting electronic transmission nationwide. Judith, now telecommunications companies who even control these networks that a lot of our lawmakers have been complaining about have come out to say even the 2G network is capable of, transmitting result electronically. Do you think this should bring to rest the controversies, the argument, especially the National Assembly, that electronic transmission of result might not work and all that? Should this bring that to rest?
Of course it should, because the network providers have come out to say that, okay, this is not an excuse at all. So at this point, I think they have no further excuse, because, I mean, I can decide to right now transfer money from one of my bank accounts to the other, and it would reflect immediately. So how then is network going to be an issue in transmitting results when bank transfers can work, transfer of information can work from different states to another? I think the network thing has never even been an issue. They were just looking for excuses at that point. And now that the network operators have come out to debunk the excuse, I would like to see what next they would say.
We also heard that finally the Senate approved the electronic transmission of results, but at the same time backed up by the manual transmission of result at the same time. Now, even in the House of Representatives, while a certain level of rancor was going on, some lawmakers protested because while in the House of Representatives, while deliberating, they would want to know through voice votes. If the ayes have it, it means it's going to pass through. If the nays also have it, it means it needs to be reviewed and revisited. But this time around in the House of Representatives, the nays had it, but yet the House of Representatives Speaker Tajuddin Abbas still went on, to approve what the ayes who were even louder had. Do you think there's a problem? What's the concern here, basically?
That tells us that they don't even stand for the people. our voices don't matter to them, because clearly...
Is this also saying the voices of opposition lawmakers don't matter in the National Assembly?
That is what it's saying. It's trying to say that the incumbents, or should I say the leading party, APC, do not even listen to the people. Because everybody has one voice. The whole Nigeria is saying one thing, and they are still trying to manipulate it. How can just a particular set of people be fighting the entire country, saying this is what they want? If this was literally a democratic setting, as they claim it to be, they would have approved this in a long time ago. Because everybody is saying we want electronic transmission of votes.
But not everybody.
Most people, I mean, we have it like 80-20 or 70-30. Half of, if you want to do by voting now, I mean, I want it, you want it, you want it, we all want it. So why is the government still trying to make it difficult? They should just approve it. Okay, they approved it, and they're still saying we're still going to use the previous way. Why are they doing that? All because of election malpractice.
All right. Do you think, if the opposition lawmakers, let me not use the word opposition lawmakers, because perhaps we also have some of the APC-led people coming out to also say they want full electronic transmission of election result. But do you think if these people still maintain their stand, perhaps the course of things might change before 2027 elections? Because these are also powerful people, like other lawmakers in the National Assembly. Do you think if they stand their ground and say, no, this is what we want, if they keep protesting like they protested from the video that we just watched, do you think things will change, perhaps, for most Nigerians?
I think, yes, if they continue to protest and they are allowed to even protest, because I feel like there is some kind of coercion even happening to the members of the House of Reps at this point, because how they have it that some people are saying nay and some people are saying yes, and then they are choosing to go with yes. When
that wasn't even louder.
When more people are saying no, I feel like these people now, there's going to be some form of coercion to make them agree with whatever is going on. But I think that they should actually stand their ground, insist on doing the right thing.
Okay.
At this point,
At this
we
point,
should really
it feels
insist.
more like intimidation, because if you are literally taking the voices of these people, the yes is lesser than the no. So why are you still dragging this further? Why is it still a ban? Just pass the law and let it be law.
So it shouldn't even be extending as much as it's extending.
It's
right
dragging
now.
for they've been
dragging it
neutral,
for too
there've
long.
been protests, there've been conversations, there's been dialogue, and it's still pondering. Everybody is saying do this thing, and you're still, what's going on? They don't even listen to us, because even serious people in the community, in the nation, and Peter B was there, Atiku was there, Mr. Amechi was, all of these people are there, and you're still dragging this thing. Don't we matter? Don't our voices matter in the country anymore?
All right.
This should be a question, honestly, because...
All right, that should be a question for, members of the National Assembly and also political elites who perhaps may work for the country to answer. But before those answers come by, let's move on to the next story. Former former presidential candidate of the Labour Party during 2023 election, criticized Nigerians' failure to transmit election results promptly, citing India as a model. In a statement on his verified X handle, Obi noted that India, with nearly 1 billion voters, over 1 million polling stations and thousands of political parties, conduct elections with electronic result transmission within days. Nigeria, with less than 10% of India's voter base and far fewer polling stations and parties, still struggles to hold credible elections. Peter Obi stressed that the issue lies in leadership, urging Nigerians to demand integrity, effective governance, and policies that prioritize citizens' welfare. But Esther, India has made lots of investment over the years, lots of electoral reforms over the years, in fact, sophisticated equipment and all that. But in Nigeria, I don't think we have that level of investment in technology. So do you think we're actually ready for the electronic transmission of results in real time?
Now, it's not even about comparison with India, because, of course, India is more sophisticated in terms of technological advancements than Nigeria. But then the Glow, everybody, they are coming out to say that we have the capability to transmit these results electronically, because now they are saying network failure. And they are saying even a 2G network can transmit results. So why are we still trying to say that this is not possible. We're not trying to say everybody should vote electronically or everybody should be in their houses and make their votes. That's way too overboard for Nigeria as at now. But if it's for the transmission of the results, it's possible.
All right. Judith, what are your thoughts on this?
I think, yes, I agree with Esther actually, because let's not compare like that with India and Nigeria, because India is a bit more developed, but they have more people than us. I think they are more much more
billions of
populated.
people
Exactly, they are much more. They have a higher population rather than us, and still they are able to do this thing. At this point, like I already said, there is no excuse anymore. At this point, electronic transmission of results should really be used.
All right. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai was detained at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) headquarters in Abuja on Monday night after hours of questioning over an alleged 432 billion naira corruption case. The African Democratic Congress chieftain is also expected to face prosecution over the alleged borging of National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu's phone. Investigations stem from a 2024 Kaduna State Assembly report accusing its administration of misappropriating loans, violating contract processes, and plunging the state into heavy debt. Sources said EFCC's inquiry has been ongoing for about a year. The Lagos Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, has appealed to the public to help locate Mirabel, TikTok handle at Mirab351, a TikTok user who claimed she was raped in her apartment by a stranger. The agency confirmed effort to reach her and provide support. The hashtag Stop Raping Women has trended on X, with users demanding urgent action and protection of survivors. Mirabel described the attack and threat from the suspect in detail, revealing her trauma and a recent suicide attempt. Authorities, including the Lagos State Police Command, are investigating, urging her to respond to facilitate a thorough probe and ensure her safety. You know, Esther, the issue of rape is a very serious issue.
It is.
In fact, anything that has to do, personally, I take it personal. Whenever there's an issue of rape, I definitely do that. When it is confirmed that it is rape, I take it very personal. In fact, sometimes I get to what, I'm sorry, I would have to say this in pidgin. Which kind country go worry man? We go make and say, nah, rape, it won't rape. The question here is, this is a very serious case. And of course, investigations have to be made. But lots of individuals have reached out to her. An activist named Very Dark Man Martins had reached out to her. She had not gone to the police station. She said she's scared of the police station because she had a similar experience in the past, and the police people ignored her. Okay. The Lagos State government also, you just heard from the news, they're inviting her, trying to tell, come, let us investigate and let us find justice for you. Why do you think she's, I don't know, is she trying to dodge? Is she trying to just move away from investigation? Well, she came on social media. Of course, she wanted public. Why not extend this and honor this invitation since you brought it to the public?
Okay, I'm not going to speak as a feminist or anything. I'm just going to be, rational about this, right? She came out and said this is what happened to her, which is really sad. She said she was suicidal about it, which we heard that she took sniper. And at the time, she posted a video in a hospital bed saying that she's seen all the messages that were reaching out to her, Nkiru Silvanos, Very Dark Man, Lagos Day, that she's seen all of that and she's going to respond to them. As that when she's going through a phase right now, you don't just pick up yourself and start responding to messages like ASAP. She's having some kind of trauma. So I believe that when she feels like she's ready to go through all of this, because it's going to take a long process. She has to attend to, when she's done with VDM, she goes to the Lagos, she goes to.
I don't think she should even be. She should go to the government first.
She's treating herself at the time.
No, she's back. She's back. You know why? Because she posted a video this morning.
The last post was in the hospital. The last post I saw.
She posted a video on her story this morning. In fact, she said she doesn't have an Instagram handle, and she's confused, according to what she said, that she saw two messages from Very Dark Man, two different accounts. Of course, a lot of us know the verified account of VDM on social media already, but she's saying that she doesn't know the original VDM's account, that she's been messaged by this, she's been messaged by that, and she responded back, but yet no answer from these people who had messaged that. I'm talking about VDM here. No answer from the handles that she had responded to. In fact, some individual asked, make a screenshot of the VDM account you said you had responded to. Now nothing came out. People, quickly, Judith, there are individuals that have the opinion that our stories might not be adding up. But do you think Nigerians should just rely on social media claims, in cases like this?
Well, I think in these cases, the investigations should be very, very thorough. And at this point, if it feels like she's rejecting help, it may be because she's not ready at the time. It may be because she's still recovering from the trauma. She's still trying to get herself together. It could also be that.
But she has not said she's not ready.
She did. She did in the last. She made a viral video in the hospital saying that she's going to respond to all of these messages as when she feels
ready.
better.
Okay.
Exactly. So, as much as this issue now is very, very sensitive, and I know most people are inclined to believe the victim, because it is rape, and exactly why would she lie and all of that, and it is something that happens. It's not like it's an alien thing. But I really hope for her sake that she's not lying and she's not just doing all of this for clout, because that would really mess her up, her records and everything. And as much as she's taking time to recover, I think she should also reach out to the people that are offering her help, because I feel like getting help and arresting the suspects and I don't know, charging him and exactly would bring her justice and a sense of relief, and would also help her recover better.
I also went through social media, and people are now calling for a complete overhaul, especially TikTok. Now you go on TikTok and you see young TikTokers, you see teenagers, you see young ladies and young guys, practice some things that are so immoral, fall into challenges that are probably not supposed to be done, especially by children. These teenagers are actually children, and unfortunately, they might look grown, but a lot of them actually, I did my research on them. A lot of them are teenagers who should not be doing some of these things. There's the one they call view-ons. Everybody wants to trend. There's the one you come on live and you start showing your body so that people would start gifting you.
So are you saying she did all of this?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying, what I'm trying to say here is this. A lot of our young people go on challenges, do some of these things because they want to trend.
Now that is where content creating comes in.
So don't you think this can be a form of content creating too?
No, I don't think it's a form of.
How about the issue on Twitter that someone came up on board to say she was raped, and at the end of the day, it was discovered. In fact, she cried. Lots of videos came out during that period. In fact, the person who was claimed, the alleged suspect, was arrested. He was in custody for close to 2-3 weeks or so. She came out when she was crying, and everybody was all for her. Hashtags like this were also trending at the same time. But later, it was discovered that it was a lie. Do you know what this guy did? He killed himself. She came out and said what she just wanted to do. She wanted to get back at the man. Now, I want to ask you this question, without being too emotional, let's be logical about it. Do you support capital punishment for rapists, first and foremost?
Okay, I pause to give it a deep thought.
Okay, it's important that you do so.
The idea of rape is really sad. Pedophilia, really sad. Girls, even guys, to get raped. We are not leaving the guys out on this. Guys get raped, girls get raped, kids get raped. Even old people still get raped. There's people that have some kind of attraction for old people. So, rape, the whole concept of rape is mind-blowing, because then it's meant to be consensual. So why are you having the need to impose it on somebody? Now, if this person is going to go through some kind of torture because it leaves trauma, it leaves fear, it destabilizes.
So capital punishment should be given to a rapist.
If you ask me, I think no. they should serve justice in the law, in terms of the law. They should go through maybe life imprisonment. It's also
Life
punishment.
imprisonment is capital.
Then yes,
It's a form of
you know,
capital punishment.
things like that should be enforced. It's life
So
imprisonment.
how about for someone who comes out to say I was raped and later it was discovered that she wasn't raped? Do you
she
think
should
capital
serve-
punishment
yeah,
should
she
also
should
come
serve
through?
the same justice? Because what if the person, okay, right now in this case, she's not pointing fingers at anybody, right? But imagine pointing fingers at somebody and it turns out to be that this person is innocent and had already faced this capital punishment. So why are you roaming free? You
So
would serve the same
okay,
punishment.
imagine in a case like this when in a case like this,
Yeah, and
let's
if
hope she's
investigation comes out
and
that
it's a
she
lie.
is lying, she
Don't
should serve capital punishment because she made everybody believe a lie. It's not. It doesn't make
And
any
it's
sense.
definitely going to influence lots of other people
Yes,
there. Because now, a lot of people are saying our stories don't add up. In fact, there was a guy who came up on TikTok. He dropped his address and it coincided with Mirabelle's. And Vibes Boy, he's been trending since yesterday night. He said, I don't believe either because she is my neighbor. We were all at home on Sunday. Everyone was in the compound on Sunday. No one dares to enter the gate to do such a thing. I don't believe this story. Then someone else responded that that's true. We live close to her. Then the other person said the funniest part was last week Thursday. She said she needed money because her mom died and she had to go to the village and everybody contributed money for her. In fact, a lot of comments. In fact, a lawyer in the name of Ashley, Barrister Ashley, said this isn't adding up. I'm sorry, but too many loopholes in the storyline. I'm a law practitioner. Trust me when I say this, something ain't right. Leave sentiment aside. Even as a woman, our storyline is contradicting. And we had lots of people supporting and some people even insulting her to say no, she's been insensitive, and all that. She deleted some posts on her TikTok. Some of the posts were deleted. In fact, she brought up one of the posts that was also deleted was one that she posted, and the name written on it was Abigail and not Mirabelle, as she claims she is. And even aside from that, people are also saying the message she claimed the man sent to her on TikTok sounds like she wrote it because similar words. Of course, it's possible for people to use similar words.
I believe people text alike.
But for SOO to be used as so is kind of rare, especially when, for me, it's kind of rare. But most of our messages were SOO for so, and some other words that were also circled.
Let's just take that to be.
So, what do you think our story is actually adding up?
If you look at it, there are a bit of loopholes, but I don't want to say she's lying because there is no evidence to show it's a lie, and there is still no evidence to show it's true. So until investigations are made, me personally, I'll choose to believe her because, there is really, aside cloud chasing, there's really no need for her to come out and create that kind of a lie.
But people can use that to chase clouds.
That's why I said aside cloud chasing.
You're contradicting yourself. You said you choose to believe her.
Yes,
and you're
I will.
also saying before you believe her, you would need an investigation, thorough investigation to happen.
For it to be true, for everybody to say, for anybody
Okay,
to
but
say,
for you, it is true.
me,
But
I'll
for
choose
other
to
people-
believe her. Yes, for me, it's true.
Why?
Because I think that there is really no reason aside cloud chasing, and for God knows what.
TikTok people are known to chase clouds.
Anybody, it's not just TikTok. People chase
Okay,
clout on
social
Instagram.
media,
People chase clout
social
on
media
X.
users are known. Okay, yes,
what you
okay.
stated
Let's
was X.
generalize it. Social media people are known to chase cloud.
Yes.
So what if it's chase cloud?
That's what
Why
I
do you
said
choose to still
already.
believe?
I would choose to believe her because aside cloud chasing, there is really no need for her to lie about something as humongous as this.
Okay, you don't think this is enough to chase clouds?
For me, it's wild. Why would you chase out to something like this?
That's it for today's edition of Trends on LJE News. Many thanks to Esther for joining the conversation, of course. Thank you. Judith. I almost said Juliet. Judith, thank you very much for your contribution.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So to our viewers and listeners, make sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe at LJE News on all social media platforms to stay in the loop and join the conversation ahead of our next show. My name is Omotola Adeleke. See you next time. Bye for now.
In terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond